Hello, my friends. Welcome to the first episode of the Sandbox. My name's Justin Peters. I'm your host. Before we jump into the conversation today, let me share a little background about this creation. I started listening to podcasts about 2 years ago, and I always thought it'd be fun to start my own show. So I bought a mic 6 months or so ago, and I told myself about every single month that I was going to start recording, but I got paralyzed by the fact that I was trying to make it perfect and think through every detail before I even recorded my first show. So here I am, January 15th, 2020, and I still haven't recorded anything. So I thought it was a good time to change that. I no longer want to strive for perfectionism, and I decided to create the Sandbox, which is my pilot podcast. And it's a test run. I'm trying to gain some clarity through action. So I thought I needed to start practicing and produce shows on a consistent basis. So I'm going to try a lot of things out here in the next couple months. And with that in mind, I welcome all feedback. I'd love to hear from you guys if you actually listen all the way through the show, what you thought about it, what you liked, what you didn't. But yeah, I'm excited. Today I have on Mason Stevens. Mason and I met in college playing soccer and instantly became best friends. I chalk that spark and our continued friendship up to our value alignment. If you haven't met him, he's extrinsically ambitious and consistently seeking out adventure. He grew up in a military family, moving around frequently. The word stranger doesn't even exist in his vocabulary. He may be the only friend that rivals me in their aspiration to leave an impact on this world. Mason and I have had countless hours of conversation around self-improvement, goals, and business. So it's only instinctual for me that he is my first guest on my unofficial podcast. So Mason, welcome to the show. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, oh my gosh, my heart is so warmed. I've never felt so welcome before. My mom would be like baffled.
I
That was
know
awesome. I'm great. I'm fantastic now. Let's
it,
go.
it was interesting writing. I just wanted to write a little bio, and I thought maybe I'd pull out some interesting facts about you. But then I went kind of the warm-hearted route since you and I are so close. So anything top of mind that you want to jump into right away?
Oh man. You're just talking about something that you've been procrastinating for so long, and you're finally like doing the bullet. And I know this is part of the accountability thing we have for each other on the side, but when I was studying in Thailand this last semester, a couple of my friends told me to do a YouTube channel, and like I got so excited. I was like, oh yeah, it'd be amazing. Like they've seen a couple of my videos before, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I have free time. And then the next month came, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I just want better content, like whatever. And then here I am finally this week as well. I recorded my first intro video this morning. I'm gonna upload all my previous videos. Yeah, so it's just like it's taken me. Here I am, February or January 15th. So 3 months, and I finally was like able to like make a decision. So just like happy that's how you started, because that's something I'm exactly doing as well.
Dude, honestly, I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people recently, and I feel like we all kind of struggle from just inaction. Like, I think everybody's got big goals, things they want to do, and we just don't take that first step. And for me with this podcast, I really want to take the first step and kind of gain some momentum. So I was hoping we'll start with some of the background. In my intro, as I was talking about you growing up military family, and you and I met at Webster University playing soccer. My friend invited you over to our house after practice, like the second or third day. And you're like, yeah, sure, I'll come, with like no question whatsoever, nothing. So like I really did. I meant it whenever the word stranger is not even in your vocabulary. So I admire that skill set about you. My question to you is, how do you make connections with someone that you've just met?
Dude, thank you so much. Big compliment. And I do pride myself on like being a military brat, moving around, getting those experiences. And that is one thing that's really helped me have to make connections, no matter like where I was going. And I think the best thing that really helped me do this was sports. I'm not like, I wasn't the biggest like book guy. I was also really goofy, so that helped. But I always had to learn how to make a connection. So like what I feel like really helps is just being authentic. Like you have to be genuine with people. You have to do more than just like an open conversation starter, which are great. Like there's methods like the frog So if like you go to networking, people say use the frog method. So there's like things like that. But I feel like those are just conversation starters. What makes me build a real connection is just being authentic about myself, like what I've done, like just who I am, big goofball,
Hmm.
and then being genuine when I talk to the people. So I just think like a big thing that also is with connections is like energy. People portray such an energy like when you walk into a room. Like if you see someone walk in frowning on their phone, like you're not going to be really approaching or thinking what they're thinking. But if you see somebody come in with a smile and like starts trying to wave at people, like introduces them on the way in, like that's going to be someone maybe you'll just generally attract to. And I think that's kind of in our nature. So I think like that's my biggest thing is building the connections I've had to was just being authentic, being genuine. And I did that with sports and it's led me to here where I am.
Yeah, I love that. And that's a great piece of advice. Just be authentic and you'll attract the people that you want to attract in that sense. And energy management's so important as well. I mean, just I think half that battle is just being present. It's not pulling out your phone when you're around people. It's whenever you walk into a new door, introducing yourself to the people that are in the room. Energy management's so critical, and I know it's something that you and I kind of both strive for, and through networking, I think it's something that you probably hear pretty often as you're the energetic young guy, and people are just so attracted to that. So I love that piece to it. Another thing that you and I really have in common is ambition. You're probably the only one that might compete with me in our friend group that's super ambitious, and that's personal goals, but really just making an impact on the world. But I think most people know with ambition comes lots of big goals, lots of little personal goals, and sometimes that can muddy the water of and paralyze you a little bit and where you're going. So tell me how you're trying to get better at turning your ambition into actual action.
Ambition just means to have a strong desire to do something or to achieve something. So for me, that's just turning that action and like seeing if I can reverse engineer that and break it down and what it really comes from. So what I get ambition from is a spark. And all it takes is a small spark to like make a really big change. So what that spark breaks down for me is just that momentum. And once you feel that momentum, it just keeps pushing you forward. A
Hmm.
spark is obviously like pulling you somewhere, like something that you feel like you really should do. And for me, like that's motivational speaking, like people pushing me what to do, mental challenges, and like that's just what I connect to. So to admire that into an action, you have to absorb yourself in that completely. So what I did was I unfollowed almost all of my meme accounts. I'm not gonna lie, I still have like two because I like a good meme every once in a while. But I completely shifted. I unfollowed a lot of that, all of my negative friends. Like I don't want that in my life because it's constantly bringing you down. Goes back to the energy thing. It's just like what you see, how you feel is how you want to be feel. So if
Hmm.
you give out good energy and you're positive, you'll receive it.
Love
So
that.
I mean, yeah. And then
Yeah.
once it becomes second nature, it's not easy though. You have to give up. It's a big give and take. If you have true ambition and that's the desire you want to achieve, you're going to give up things like hanging out with your friends, like watching TV, playing video games. Like I was a big Fortnite guy. Had to drop that, not because I'm
Hmm.
23, but because I was 23 and I was playing Fortnite. But
Yeah.
like it's all things. It's give and take, and I was done with that. But it's because I had so much more desire to do something better and do something a little bit more. I could because I knew my mind was like a bull in a fucking china shop, just like wanting to let go.
I love that. I love that. Keep talking a little bit. I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you balance. I don't know if the right word is distractions, but we'll use the word distractions. With obviously there's a balance. You can't be 100. You can't be full throttle, 100% on all the time. You talk about Fortnite or spending time with friends or doing things to kind of turn the brain off. How do you balance between your achievement activities and rest and relaxation and the things that might fuel you again?
That's a fantastic question. So previously, I'm actually going to reference something I saw the other night, but it's so true. So I was watching The Office, fantastic show. But the important thing was it's Dunder Mifflin's Under Saber, and the manager Joe was explaining to Michael like, could you put your name on this day and say that you're satisfied with the work that you did? And it was like, are you happy with what you've done? So for me, that's a give and take for what I do to sacrifice like my friendship and like family balance, my rest and relax. I do what I feel has been a good stamp on the day. Like I'm proud of this day. I made a movement going forward. I wasn't stagnant. And at that point, that's your self reward. Like that's your self affirmation that you've given yourself. And then that's what kind of keeps it going forward. So when I feel like I've done enough for the day, then like I'll reach out to my friends. And for me, that's making sure I read. That's making sure I go to the gym. That's making sure I'm doing some research over like some new influencers, how to speak a little bit better. That's doing some additional research. And then once I feel that I'm proud of that, then that's where I'll be like, okay, now this is my time for my friends. And if I'm going to do something with friends early in the day, then I just make sure I plan. And you have to be disciplined about it in the afternoon that, all right, I made this commitment. Even though I went out this afternoon, I'm going to come home and read before I go to bed. So it's really just sacrifice. But the balance is like being happy with what you've done.
Yeah. Oh, God, you said a lot of great things there. And what I really pulled away from that is, when you deserve some time off. The one person you can't lie to is yourself. And I really, really struggle between knowing when I really deserve that time off and knowing when I need to push harder. And I really didn't, put my name on this day, as you said. So that's awesome. One thing you mentioned earlier was studying abroad. What a cool experience. I don't have a lot of regrets in my life. I think the only regret that I would have is not taking the opportunity to study abroad. Love to hear more about that experience. So you spent 9 weeks in Thailand, and then you spent 9 weeks in the Netherlands. Tell me, what's something you took away from studying abroad?
It's just so hard to pack it all down into one. I'll just say this experience is nothing that I would have ever gained or learned doing anything else in the world. That's first. The reason I did this was because I was a military kid. I've moved around my entire life. Like I went to 3 different high schools. So I wanted a challenge that was just so big that like I felt uncomfortable doing it. Like I'm a big get uncomfortable, like go lay in the snow. Like I want to be as uncomfortable as possible. So I was like, where else but Asia? Like we have a study abroad campus in Bangkok. And I was like, this is going to be the place. This is where I'm going to get a culture shock. I want to adapt, learn, and embrace their culture, their beliefs, their full experience. So what my actual, like, truly something I've really taken away and probably my best experience all in all is I'm really big, and I learned there to truly not, like, fear the past or like regret the past. Don't fear your future or think about what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, next month, whatever, but just truly being in the present. So I went no SIM card, so I didn't have a phone the entire time I was abroad. And that just really helped me try to embrace that experience, embrace their culture, like, and that allowed me to do things I would have never thought possible.
What other things have you done beside to help you be more intentional about being present in the moment? Because you came back to the States, you have a SIM card now, you have 24, somebody can access you 24 hours a day. What things have you done to really continue to embrace that here in the States?
Coming back to the States, it was really easy, but also hard. Because as soon as I got back, everyone was hitting me up like, Mason, you're back. Like, let's see you. Like, let's talk. What made it easy was if I didn't have a direct message, I didn't feel my phone. Like if I was in the car, like even if I wasn't driving, I wasn't on my phone because I was so used to not having it. It was second nature just not to check it all the time. So now that I've been back for almost a month, one thing that's really helped me out is that I was so second nature to not doing it that I kept not doing it when I got back. And I saw how much everyone else was on their phone. And I was just like, and I would start calling them out, like my dad. Like my freaking dad, like his girlfriend, like I call it my friend group that I live with, like I call out my Aunt Jenny and them, like, and I was get guys, like get off your phone, like I'm not that boring, like I just traveled abroad, like come on, talk to me about something. But no, like honestly, that was the thing, and it's like I saw it so much, I was like, man, I don't want to like get back into that because I enjoy sitting in a room with someone if we're not talking and we're just truly like feeling our energies and like hanging out. It doesn't matter. You don't have to talk, but it's like you're being present with that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, it's an epidemic in our culture now. I mean, I think it's not even the Gen Zs and the millennials. You see it up and down everywhere from your parents, your grandparents. Everybody's just locked into their phone. It's glued, and it's tough. And I think it's probably going to get worse unless something comes from unless we make some huge culture shifts. Let's change paths here. Let's talk about health. You are hyper focused on your health, both from the physical activity piece to it and the nutrition piece to it. And I think this is probably a big goal for most people. It's 2020, January 15th, 2020, as I mentioned. New year, new decade, lots of resolutions coming out. And I would assume, of the people that make resolutions, at least a third of them probably have some kind of health focused resolutions. And it doesn't come as natural to other people like it would come to someone like yourself. So if someone does, they haven't made health a priority, but they want to start making health a priority, what do you think is a good first step?
Love this question because the first step is one step, literally just one step forward. So to break it down, I had a friend that he was overweight. He wanted to make a change. Never was an active guy. And he's like, Mason, like, I really want to like please help me lose weight. And I was like, perfect. Like, let's do this then. So at first, you just got to start by walking. Like, you don't full commit. Don't go all in and try to run a marathon. Like, you're running a marathon. It's not a sprint. Take your time. Go into it at your own pace. Warm your heart up. Feel it. Feel your body. So the biggest thing we did was we started walking. Just like, all right, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Once you get to 30 minutes of comfortable walking, all right, dude, try to jog. If jogging hurt, then you'd compensate it with a hill for walking. So we did walking, then he got to jogging, then he got to running, and this guy he lost like 60 pounds, 70 pounds
Wow.
over the course of a year. And then that also came into his nutrition. He was eating fast food. He was drinking a lot of soda, lots of sugar. So then we just like cut back. And I mean, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not giving nutrition advice, but basic breakdown. You just got to cut out fast food. I'd say you could reward yourself if you'd go 3 or 4 days clean. But we would just eat the generic food like chicken, like fish, your broccolis, like potatoes, like sweet potatoes, a lot of carrots, like fruit. Not a lot of fruit because there's a lot of sugar in it. Got him on some like light protein for like a meal replacement or like a snack throughout the day. So it's really just he had ambition for it too. So he wanted to change, but the change was small steps became jogging, push-ups on the wall became push-ups on the bed, became push-ups on the ground. Like you start somewhere. Like you don't have to go in and kill yourself because that's where you'll lack that motivation. That's where you'll see a disappointment. But you have to reward yourselves for your small steps. If you walked 5 minutes, bro, you walked 5 minutes. That's more than you did the day before. So if you can use that step-by-step mentality, that pendulum momentum going you forward, that spark, that's how I'd say like you start it. Because your body is a temple. Whatever you feed it is how you're gonna feel. And I experienced this a lot when I would go and like have a burger. Everyone can relate to this. You have a burger and fries, you have something like that. We all feel tired. We feel like lethargic after. It's crappy. But if you like go and you actually order like a Caesar salad at dinner, or you actually just get like fresh like baked fish and broccoli, I felt I just do it for my body, my temple. I want to see how I feel, and whatever makes me feel the best is how I'm going to try to make my core diet around. And it's not a diet, it's your life choice. So that goes into another step too. It's what you say in your head is what you're going to think. If you're like, oh, this is a phase, I'm just doing this goal, like you're just trying to reach something. I have goals for this year, but none of them are goals. Like it's my to-do list. It's the list I've done. Essentially, I've done everything on this list already. I know it's the 15th of January, but I've done everything because I'm not saying there's a possibility for me not to do it. So again, that just goes into mindset and that takes time. Like, I'm wired a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But
if you were to recommend one exercise for someone to do to get started, what exercise would that be?
First exercise to get started would be air squats against a wall. Something super easy, something that everyone can probably do, or just walking.
Yeah.
If you're just getting started and you think you're already fit, burpees. Accept the challenge, go for it.
Yes.
But just getting started, walking, air squats. I know I'm saying 3 things: walking, air squats, and then just air lunges.
Love that. Give us the shameless plugs. What's the Instagram handle and what's the YouTube?
The Instagram handle is Mason_James209.
Nice.
And honestly, I have the YouTube channel, but I don't know what the name is.
We'll put it in the show notes for you. We'll make sure that people have the opportunity to go and give you a sub over there because I want to make sure people hold you accountable too and that you're building out that YouTube page, man.
Yeah, definitely. But Instagram's my biggest thing. I love engagement. I put out stuff every single day. That that's what my Netflix is. I try to like flood myself with that inspiration.
Yeah.
Absorb yourself, baby.
Mm. And finally, a 2020 goal of yours that you are excited about.
Um, I'm gonna run two marathons.
Nice. Love that. Well, hey Mason, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Love that you gave us some time. A lot of good wisdom here. Love the thoughts on getting uncomfortable. Love the thoughts on taking that easy first step. And love to hear some of the stuff about you being authentic. It really does shine true. Right when I met you, I mean, it's you are the exact same person that I met first day. Than I know standing right in front of me here. So I appreciate that, man. And you've been a great friend and like I said, much love out to you.
Dude, thank you so much. I try to be goofy because that's just who I am. And if I'm goofy with you, then I know, I like you. Um, but yeah, dude, I just want to spread love and positivity. I just want to smile from ear to ear. I want to grin. People look at me and they laugh because I'm smiling so weird and I got a goofy face or something. Like, I don't know. I just want people to be more happy and stop focusing on the better thing, on the worser things. So, dude, thank you so much for having me on. This is an absolute honor. Happy to be your first recording. It's exciting.
Well, you heard him, guys. Go out there, get happy, go tackle those goals, and be more true and authentic to your true self. So, see you guys.